everyone, welcome to A Stitch in Time. Today is Friday, November 27th, 2020. This is episode 162. I'm Carol, your host, also known as Knits and Pearls on Ravelry, and I live in the Fraser Valley of British Columbia, just a little over an hour's drive east of Vancouver. If you are a first-time viewer, a very special hello and welcome to you. Thank you for checking out the podcast. And if you are a returning viewer, hello again and welcome back. I want to say a huge thank you to the many of you who left comments or sent private messages after my last episode. I had a very good response to the idea of myself doing Vlogmas again. And so Vlogmas it is. So I guess it begins Tuesday. So either Tuesday evening or early Wednesday. Keep an eye out for a short episode, and I will try and do those daily up until December 24th. That is the plan. Anyway, we will see what life throws at me. As I mentioned last week, I do not anticipate very much exciting happening between now and then. There's certainly nothing planned, but I will share my holiday mini openings with you every day and keep you posted on how my holiday project is progressing. I'm also coming quite close to the end of my gift knitting, and I have some projects I'm looking forward to working on in December, and so it'll be those kinds of things. And just my day-to-day, whatever I'm doing, I'll try and find little nuggets of something interesting to include in my episodes on a regular basis. So this episode's kind of ass backwards because I already recorded all this part before. And while I was in the middle of a sentence, my camera shut off because the battery had run out. I had forgotten to connect the extension cord to the power bar. And so, my battery just ran out. So then I just picked up from where I was, finished recording the episode, and then when I went to upload it to the computer, that first segment, it never saved into a file, and so it is now a good while later. You will notice probably when the next segment kicks in that the lighting will change. It is now after 4 o'clock. We're starting to lose the light. I had actually just sat down to record this again, and the phone rang, and it was a friend of ours that we haven't seen in months and months and months. And so I talked for, well over half an hour with him, kind of catching up on each other's lives in the last year or so. So I'm sitting here, so I'm not going to be able to get this edited and processed, etc. as early as I'd hoped, so it may not make it up on air until tomorrow morning, but we'll see what I can get done in the meantime. So first up, I did want to remind you that the 2020 Gal Cal is going on currently in the Ravelry group until the end of the year, and that stands for Gift Along, Craft Along. It's a very loosey-goosey cal, if I can put it that way. You can knit gifts for anybody, including yourself, for any occasion. And actually, you can't just knit them. You can crochet, macrame, paper toile, like whatever kind of craft you want to do, go for it. I have so enjoyed seeing how active that thread has been. There's lots of conversation, and there's lots of great gifts that people are making for loved ones, and I'm just thoroughly enjoying that. The next drawing for that will take place early next week, and I will be drawing I'll use random number generator to choose 2 posts, so it'll be 2 winners. and they will be drawn from posts right from the beginning of the KAL up till November 30th. So one winner will receive a project bag, and the other will get a pattern that's giftable on Ravelry up to a value of $10. And I will announce the winners' names on my next regular episode. So stay tuned for that. So I'm really happy to say I have a finished project to share with you this week. Also several works in progress, and I'm going to talk a little bit about sort of what I've been doing this last week. Let's just say shopping. I started out with tea earlier. Now I've just got some Coke Zero here. I thought about pouring a glass of wine because it is Appy night after all. But I always like to wait for Cameron to get home before I do that and have our first drink together. So I'm making do with just something cold because from all that talking, both to you and then to our friend, I'm feeling a little bit parched. So yeah, let's start with finished projects, and I'm happy to say that the Wee Wildflower cardigan is done. This is a cardigan I have knit for my great niece who was born back in January. I had originally planned to knit the 6-month size because I had bought the yarn and pattern soon after she was born, but I decided I'd better up that to 18 months because I think this is a good spring, summer, fall sweater. She should be able to wear it then. Thankfully, I had plenty of yarn. I had bought 3 balls of Drops Baby Merino in color 4, which is this really nice, buttery, uncooked corn kind of color. And I used 2 and some, I can't remember exactly, but I had loads of yarn to do it. So I will bring it in closer and show you the 2 main features of this cardigan. One is this beautiful scalloped hem that goes along the bottom of the cardigan and also at the bottom of the sleeves, and then this beautiful wildflower motif, slipping, this little wildflower motif that is on the pocket. So it washed it, blocked beautifully. I finished it off with just a couple of simple buttons that I found in my button box, and I have to say I am thrilled with how nicely the sleeves went in. On the pattern, the sleeves are knit flat, then inserted into the armhole, and then they instruct you to do the under, like the sleeve seam after that. Instead what I did is I did the edging flat, and then I joined the sleeve in the round and knitted in the round. So then I just inserted it into, and once I got to the arm, what do you call it? Sleeve cap shaping. Then of course you work back and forth, but up until that point it was in the round, and then I'm so pleased with the seaming. Years ago there was an article in Interweave Knits, and I think it was by Veronique Avery if I remember correctly, and it was how to sew a sweater together, and she talked about the different stitches to use depending on what you were joining to wear. So a lot of, if you have a side seam and stocking stitch, mattress stitch is a really good way to do it. She talked about, led you the whole way through how to do an armhole, because you do have different kinds of junctions, I guess is maybe, or joins, I'm not sure the right word to use, but you can see here the stockinette's going in this direction, here it's going this direction, so she instructs you how to pick up the stitches from this side and how to pick them up from this side. Here they're running parallel. So I found that a very helpful article, and I was pleased that enough of it stayed up here that I didn't find that too challenging at all. The most challenging seems so silly, but sewing these pockets. I was very, very paranoid about it. That's not the right word, but anxious about it. I wasn't looking forward to that. I wanted them to be as invisible as possible, and I really wanted them to line up on the other side. After blocking, I'm pretty pleased with how they look. So, yeah, in general, pleased with this overall. Now, if memory serves me right, so it was about now when the camera shut off. So, enjoy the rest of the episode. Works in progress are coming right up. So I have a couple of first socks completed this week, and the first of those first socks is this one. This is being knit from Fibernyph Dye Works, the Mountain Tweed colorway. There's the label. And this is the Storm Warning colorway. And I am knitting these socks for my husband for Christmas. So I have to work on them when he's not around. And as you can see, I have managed to get some work done on them this week. A 72 stitch top down sock, 2x2 rib, traditional heel flap and gusset, rounded toe. The only concern I have is that they seem to be a little bit roomy. I think that's because this yarn doesn't have as much spring, for lack of a better word, as some of the yarns that I've used for socks before. And I just think that's part of it. I think going forward, whether I knit them for him or myself, I think I'll just reduce the number of stitches that I cast on by a little bit. Having said that, I love this yarn. I really love the flex in it. Love this colorway. Has a nice feel to it. Enjoy working with it. So, and I'm wondering too, once it's washed, if it might even just snug up a little bit. So we shall see. I'm sure they'll be fine, but I know that's one thing that Cameron's has talked about a few times. He says when he's finding them sometimes a little loose up here, and it's like, well, you know, if you wear them all day, that they do kind of stretch out. That's just inevitable. And he said they feel fine everywhere else. And that to me is important part, so like on your feet and stuff. And he says, when I take my pants off, sometimes my socks go with them. It's like, well, that happens to me too. So I don't think that's a big deal. I would be more concerned if they were, you know, falling down while he was wearing them, and they're not. So anyway, yeah, one down. The first one, or the second one has been cast on. I am just about through the ribbing, just a few more rows, and then I'll be able to just knit on those for a while when he's not around. So the second of my first socks are my Dorothy socks. So I just think this is the most fun yarn. It is Fiberlia Casu Marvelous in the Dorothy colorway. And that is a superwash merino and nylon blend 80-20. Top down, 2x2 rib, 64 stitches. I did a yarn over short row heel in this leftover pink yarn. It is, oh no, I do have my bag in here. Keeping these in my fun sock pattern project bag. I know that this one is Sweet Georgia Yarns. It's part of a Party of 5 set that I'd ordered, and this one is from So on the tip of my tongue. Let me look for the label. Oh, Zen Yarn Garden. Zen Yarn Garden. So I just thought it'd be fun to throw in some bright heels and toes. The yarn is just so cheerful. So I have cast on the second sock and working my way down the leg. These I can work on while I'm sitting watching TV with Cams or whatever. So they're seeing a little bit more love than the other ones. So, third and final work in progress. I've continued to work on Albuquerque Sunset by Casapinka. That's a rather faded picture of it, but that gives you an idea. It's an asymmetrical triangular shawl, and it's knit from 2 colors of yarn. This is Sweet Georgia Yarns Tough Love sock in the Snowfall colorway, and this is Miss Babs Tart in the Deep Sea Jellyfish colorway. And the original sample was knit in this same colorway in a different Miss Babs base with a Miss Babs silvery gray. So I just was a total copycat because I really, really, really love how the sample looks. And this is coming along very nicely. I'm still in the first section of the 2-color work. So you start out just with a little bit of garter stitch, literally just a little bit. You move to these slip stitches and stocking stitch sections, and then you do the same in this section, only you've added in some color and you've made only 4 rows between the slip stitches instead of 6. And then once this section is done, the next step is to basically reverse what I've done here. And so this silvery gray will become the slipped stitches, and the pink and orange will be the background. So I'm at the point where I'm kind of ready to see that happen, but I have, I think, about 4 more pattern repeats. I think something like that, 4 or 5 till I get there. So we'll get there eventually. This was just something I cast on as a distraction from the wildflower cardigan. And what I like is this is simple enough to work on, like watching TV and stuff too. So good to have those kinds of projects around. Just looking to where I'm going to put these. I'm going to take a sip of my tea. I've got jasmine tea today. And it's very good. Yes, that is it for projects and yarny things. Just looking around to see if I've missed anything. No. So maybe I was going to talk about one thing first. Maybe I'll just do that second. Not that it matters to you so much. So yesterday was American Thanksgiving, so I hope all of you had a very lovely day, a safe holiday. No matter how you spent it, I know for a lot of you, you would have spent it very differently than previous years, and I hope you managed to make a celebration out of it, no matter what you did. So that means today's Black Friday, and or should we just say Black November, because Black Friday deals have been going on for a while now. And even though our Thanksgiving is in October, we still get Black Friday sales going on here too. I did take advantage of some of them. So I'll kind of share some things as they come in. But one thing I wanted to talk about because sometimes it's the negative. Sometimes it's only negative customer experiences that we all hear about, and I think it's important to give kudos where they're deserved. So one of the places I did some Black Friday holiday shopping was at Knit Picks, and I ordered the yarn for this Dogwood Blossoms cardigan. Now, this is it's a Knit Picks pattern. It's by Karen Dimmler Lawrence. And it says it was originally published in December 2010. And I remember when it came out, I really, really liked it. And I never, ever ordered it. And then through the years, they have come up with different color combinations. So this one that you see here is one of the more recent ones. It also currently comes in this combination and also this one. You can knit it as a cardigan or as a pullover. So I had always really, really liked the original one. And I went looking through Ravelry projects, and I found a person's project that listed all of the colors in the original one. The original one looked, like this. It was one of the first two versions. That was the one I always liked the most. So I thought, here, I'll order all the colors for the original, and by looking at different projects on Ravelry, I should be able to figure out which color to put where when I knit it up. So along with the yarn, I ordered a digital download of the pattern. So I opened it up and started looking at it, and it had color charts for the first three new colorways that I showed to you. And they're all in color, and there's so many colors. And they also include a row by row for the body and the sleeve of which row has which colors in it, which is very helpful. But all of a sudden, the prospect of substituting the original colors into these newer versions was seeming a little bit more daunting. And while I knew it could be done, I thought I would reach out to Knit Picks and see if at the very least I could get a row by row account of which colors are, in each row. So then when I went to sub them in, at least I would know I had the right color combinations. Anyway, within, I think I sent that late one afternoon, and the next day I had a reply and an attachment, and not only did they give me the row by row colors, they also sent me the pattern in its original version. So when I go to do the charts, I can just knit right off the charts and not have to do any guesswork. So I am so excited to finally be able to knit this sweater. That's going to be one of my 2021 goals, is to knit that. So yeah, I just really wanted to give them a shout out because I just thought that was excellent customer service on their part. I'm not sure why they just don't offer that as a purchase offer. The sweater also came in one other colorway in the early days. I think it might have been at the same time as this one came out. And there's just something on someone's project page here I can bring up. Yeah, this is the another of the originals, because you can see the one I have down here in the corner. So yeah, I'm not sure why they don't just say, here's the pattern in these choices, and here are the yarn packs for all 5 varieties. But obviously they have a reason they're not doing that. My original thought was that perhaps some of the colors of palette, because that's the yarn it's knit from, I thought, well, maybe they've discontinued some of those colors and so they can't offer it as a kit anymore. But all of the original colors are still available, at least for that version that I'm doing. So not sure what the decision was on their part, but I was just very impressed that they responded so quickly and with the perfect solution. So I can't wait till that arrives and then I can get going on that. I think it's going to be fun. Let me see what else. Also started doing just some Christmas shopping along with my Black Friday shopping. So I got ideas for all of my daughter's family, so they're pretty well taken care of. As I mentioned, my sisters and I were planning our mom's gifts, so we've got that all worked out. And this year, Cameron actually knows what he wants for Christmas, which is a huge relief because usually he's super hard to buy for. So all he needs to do is find out, the exact details of what he wants, which model of it. He wants like a golfer's watch that you can have tell the distance to the hole, and I think course layouts and all that stuff. Probably keep track of your swings on it too. So he has to figure out which one he wants, so that we can get that. Yeah, it's coming along really well. I still have to get some ideas for my one brother-in-law that I have his name this year. So my sister's gonna try and get some from him, and we haven't drawn names yet on my husband's side of the family. So once we do that, hopefully I'll get that done too. I am really hoping that this December is relatively stress-free, and since I have so much of my gift knitting out of the way, I'm really counting on being able to sort of knit for relaxation and fun. One thing I may, in fact, I'm pretty sure I am going to do, I have this skein of orange Sweet Georgia Superwash DK that I got in one of their sales, like your grab bag kind of sales, and I think what I'm going to do is knit a hat for my grandson. He looks good in orange, and I probably wouldn't knit this for myself for a hat or something, so I think that would look good on him. So I should actually just leave that yarn out as a reminder that to cast that on. And there's been so many nice hats showing up in the GalCal thread that it's really been making me itch to cast on a hat. And so I'm going to have to look through some patterns and made that one less skein full. Yeah, I'm just going to have to kind of go through and look. So I was going to tell you about concrete now, and then do my something good. But my something good kind of ties into the idea of Christmas shopping. So maybe I'll do two something goods this week. So my first something good, I am getting a loom for Christmas. I have lately seen on a number of different podcasts, people showing off their weaving projects, and it just made me realize that I really like to give that a go again. I did learn how to weave way back in high school. I took an applied textiles course, and we did some tapestry weaving, and then we also did get to weave on looms. And I made one of the things I made was a set of placemats for one of my sisters, and she still has them. And they turned out rather well, if I do say so myself. So I do know the basics, although it's been a long time. And so yeah, I decided it's kind of an extension of what I already do, and I certainly have lots of yarn that I can weave up. And I think it'll be an interesting way to use up some skeins that maybe I like but don't want to knit with. So I went ahead, did a bunch of research, and I've settled on an Ashford rigid heddle loom, the 24-inch size. I had been looking at the 16-inch samplet, and then I decided that if for not much more money I could go up to a 24-inch, and that would just give me a little more flexibility as far as projects went. I can always weave something smaller on a 24, but I think you can add an extra heddle and make your 16-inch width bigger, but with hassle. So I just thought to keep it as most basic, if I'd get a 24-inch. And I also ordered a stand to go with it, because it feels like it would be big to either be sitting on the table or sitting on your lap, as they show some of them. So yeah, I'm super, super excited about that. So when it comes, Cameron will take it, and apparently you have to give it a bit of a sand and finish it with some wax or wood sealer or something of that nature. So I ordered some of the Ashford wax along with it. So he'll take it, he'll get it all sanded and finished, so that when I open it Christmas morning, I can put it together and start right away and not have to do all of the prep work first. So I've asked for some accessories for that too, and also a good basic Learn to Weave book. I got a Kindle version of a weaving book, and I've been reading through that. And it just talks about all the different kinds of weaves you can do, and I'm really enjoying that and getting some ideas. So super excited. So that's something good, number one. So my second something good is that our concrete is all finished. Well, more or less finished. There's the odd thing they still have to do, but just minor cosmetic stuff. So yeah, it took about a month start to finish, and I know it would have gone quicker had Mother Nature cooperated, but it is done. Parts of our yard still look like a mess because it's too late in the year to either plant seed or lay sod. So in the areas where they had to do some digging to build the forms, or where they were bringing their machinery back and forth, it all got chewed up, and so they've laid some good soil over it, and it will be ready for planting come spring. And we can't park on our driveway till tomorrow, because they wanted us to wait a week before we parked on it. So he's coming back tomorrow to get his, they're not cones, but the markers at the end of the driveway that say stay off. We can walk on it, we just can't drive on it. So I took you on a little tour just before I sat down to record. I filmed a little tour of our backyard and driveway, so I'm going to include that at the very end, so that if you're interested, you can see what I'm talking about. It is Friday, did I mention that? So happy night tonight. It is kind of mid-afternoon, 3 o'clock now, so hopefully I can get all this edited and uploaded, etc. By this evening. Otherwise, you'll see it Saturday sometime. We are getting our haircut tomorrow. Not only, mine's not too bad, Cameron's definitely needs it, but we sort of thought too, with the COVID-19 numbers continuing to be too high, and the tightening of restrictions that we've seen in the past few weeks, we thought, let's get our hair cut in case we do not have that option in the near future. So we're going to do that tomorrow, And then it's supposed to be decent weather. We're going to put our Christmas lights up. So it's good to have a plan. And other than that, grocery shopping, but probably Sunday we'll be able to have just a nice relaxing day. So looking forward to that. So I hope you all have a good weekend and a good week ahead. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you hopefully in a week's time with a regular episode. And in the meantime, if you're interested in Vlogmas, look for my first Vlogmas episode either late Tuesday or early Wednesday. So take care, everyone. Stay well, and I'll see you again soon. So now that all the concrete work is complete, I thought I would take you on a little walk and show you what we had done. So I've just come out the bottom back door onto the deck, and so if you look to the right here, we've had this sidewalk installed. It goes all the way to the edge of our property, turns a corner, and then it goes all the way along the side of the house and the driveway to the curb. I'm going to turn back this way. There's a view of our backyard. So you can see this foreground is all just dirt. This is where the machinery dug everything up, and they've laid this turf or the soil on it, and we will plant some seed come spring. There's my hummingbird garden. It looks terrible. I've cut back all my perennials. I've got the drip line just kind of lying there waiting to be put in place and buried. There's a concrete pad that we had installed, and there will be a step leading down to it from the deck. So let's go back up here on the deck. So right here, this is the major project. This big patio area that's just basically an extension of the deck, so there will be a step leading down to that also eventually. Here's the other part of my hummingbird garden. Here, I'll come down to the patio area. Again, it's just a mess waiting for some cleanup. So yeah, looking back this way, there's our deck here. And so if we come around the patio, this is a path just leading again to our front yard. And so we had gravel here before, but we've rearranged how the landscape ties are. So this is where my clematis is. I only had one survive last year, so I have to plant another one there. And yeah, so then if you turn this way, you can see how we walk from there on to the patio pad. We actually don't use that path very often, just basically to have access to that garden. So then taking a little leap off the deck over the mud or off the patio pad. Here's our shed pad back here. We had just some landscape ties and gravel, but it settled over the last couple of years, and so that didn't work out so well. So we put the shed pad with a little bit of overlap so we can store some things behind it. And then we did a little sidewalk area in the front. Unfortunately, the shed was not up when we planned out where the little sidewalk was going to go, and so we have a little bit of overlap with the door on that side. And unfortunately, and this was totally my goof up because I asked them to move it a little bit, it's a little bit short of the door here, but that's just a minor thing. It's certainly functional. So again, you can see just a bunch of turf blend added where the grass was disturbed in the making of said shed pad. Okay, I'll take you out to the front now. So here's the view from the front. It's a little noisy, there's some cars going by. So we just had the end panel of our driveway replaced because it was quite damaged. And then here's a view of that panel that runs all the way up the side. Looking at it now, I wish we'd replace the whole driveway, but apparently it wasn't necessary, and of course it would cost quite a bit. So here we are, just walking along the side of the house to the backyard. And the gate is in the garage. We will replace it. We're not sure if it's going to sit up too high. We might have to come up with some other solution there. Anyway, that's the end of that. I am going back inside and get ready to record the podcast.